anticipating travelers' evolving needs and tailoring experience. This is what upselling is about. Hi everyone, my name is Paula. I'm a senior PR and partner marketing specialist at Cloudbeds. And today I'm here with Karl Schmidtner, co-founder and CCO of Upsell Guru. Thank you so much for being with us today, Karl.
Thank you very much, Paula, for having me. Great speaking with you today.
Yeah. So, Karl, let's start with what Upsell does. So, for those who aren't familiar with Upsell Guru now, can you sum it up for us?
Yeah, sure. I mean, just by the company name, Upsell Guru, you might imagine that we are all about upselling. We help hotels generate more revenue and profits and happier guests along the customer journey with very targeted and personalized upsell offers. And we do that in 3 key stages of the guest journey, which are pre-arrival, on-arrival, and in-stay. And not only we provide the technology for the hotels, but we also offer an optional training where a dedicated trainer can visit the hotels and really implement a fun and engaging upsell DNA so that it becomes like a living culture within the hotel team.
If we start talking about upselling itself, you already mentioned a few things, but just to make it clear, because when you think about upsell, at least back in the days, when I used to work at hotels, you would think about upsell some extra service because you have to everyone, that was it, or something like that. What it means today to do upselling?
So by today, you mean how the status quo is of upselling in nowadays, I assume.
Yeah. I mean, like I said in the beginning, in the example, and correct me if I'm wrong, because you are the expert here. But upselling, it's much more now. How can I say that? It's much more about like tailoring experience. You do have to have a strategy. I don't think it's just like I used to do, just selling service to like anyone, everybody.
Yeah, it has evolved a lot from back in the days what you described, and I also have a hospitality background, so I had the exact same experience as you had, or as you described when I was working back in my front office days. Nevertheless, if you look into today, upselling is still quite underutilized if you compare it with other industries. Right? Like if you look into the flight industry, when you book a flight, you get upsold, being it on Amazon, restaurant chains, even in supermarkets, everywhere there is a proper upselling strategy. So overall, we as an industry, we are still a bit behind, being it programmatic, but also on arrival, like for the teams on site. To give you an example, and maybe that's also, maybe you can share a similar experiences. If I take my last 10 hotel travels, apart of course from Upsell Guru clients, I can't recall that I've been upsold, right? Like being it before I arrive or when I arrive at the reception, no one really offers me. It's still like a very administrative process. You get a pen into your hands and you're asked to fill out some data, signature, room key. That's it.
Yeah.
Right. So I think here is where we can improve a lot, but we need to find out the reason why it's still underutilized. What I have the feeling it's still upselling has a bad reputation because a lot of hotels have the impression you need to sell something to the guest no matter what. I don't want to create robots at the front desk that is basically running down a script, right? So this is creating a quite bad reputation. And to implement a successful upsell program, there should always be several winners, and it shouldn't be only the hotel winning by the additional revenue. It should also be the guest, right? Ultimately, what you want to create is a guest that spends more with the hotel, but is happy that they spend it because they just had a better experience.
Oh, that makes sense. It's a great point. And I was just thinking about when I worked and all that. You're saying like hotels usually don't actually do upselling. And I think it also maybe it's some feeling of I don't want to bother in a way, or or even like front desk agents. I'm going to talk about like front desk agents, and they do not have these sales skills maybe. I know I'm talking about myself now, but I didn't feel comfortable and I didn't know how to do it. And then it's, it was not part of the procedure, routine as well. So I don't know if you have something to do about that, but that's my experience at least.
It shouldn't be really selling, right? Ultimately, what you're doing is you want to identify the needs of a guest. You as an employee, you know the hotel best, so you are the one that can recommend them a better experience.
Yeah.
And if that's so, the guest will be happy to pay for that additional experience.
Yeah, that makes sense. And now we're gonna just jump into the key trends, because people love trends. People like to know what's happening and be updated. So, in your opinion, Karl, what are the key trends that are shaping the future of upselling this year and maybe in the even more in the future?
Yeah, great question. So, first of all, I think it's the increased importance of upselling, right? And this has to do with rising costs that we personally are feeling in our wallets, right? Everything is getting more expensive, but also the operational costs for hotels are massively increasing, which means that profitability might decrease. This makes upselling not a kind of a nice to have anymore, but a crucial center of their strategy. The beauty about upselling is that, and especially if we think about room upselling, the guest is already yours, right? If the guest now stays in a standard room or in a junior suite, the cost for the hotel is nearly the same. They already paid the cost of acquisition to win that guest. Take like salary or staff costs, it's gonna be the same if the front office agent does a check-in for a standard room or a junior suite. They make the same amount of money. Meaning every additional revenue you do via that upsell will flow straight into your profitability, right? And this might close some profitability gaps. So what we are seeing is that it's getting more and more relevant rather than being like a nice to have. Then one other key trend is really like personalization, especially with the evolving, I would say, guest demographics with millennials and Gen Z, which are guests that are more tech savvy and expecting a hyper personalized offer rather than a one fits all solution. This will make hotels having or required to leverage more data that they have to really being in the position to personalize the offer based for that specific stay for a guest. Then a further trend that we are seeing is that you need to think beyond your own inventory, beyond a room upgrade or a breakfast, because especially the demographics I talked about, millennials, Gen Z, they are looking more and more to have an experiential travel. Mm-hmm. So the experience becomes the center of their travel, which opens a huge opportunity for either creating that experience within the hotel or to cross-sell within your community. To give you an example, this weekend I'm a big pizza lover, so I'm traveling to Napoli, and rather than having a better room, going upgrades to a suite, what I want to experience is the pizza making, right? So if the hotel can offer me that, being it's in property or in the neighborhood, that's what I want for that specific travel. And this is something that we are seeing is becoming more and more relevant.
Yeah, the experience, sorry to interrupt you, it's a value that travelers are really looking for when they travel now, right? And also this sense of, I can see that too, like it's not travel as a tourist per se, but as a, like you're saying, like going to the community and all that. And I think it's a great opportunity, as I said, for hotels to also generate revenue with that trend.
Yeah, and not only generate revenue but also have happier guests. Today. Then one trend you can't miss nowadays is AI. You hear it everywhere. With the help of AI, as it can analyze such a big amount of data, for example, on booking patterns, previous behavior, but also includes things like what is the weather forecast for that stay. By using AI technologies, you can really personalize the offer to the right guest at the right time, and this will result in higher conversion rates. Next one is like emerging technologies that probably nowadays we are not seeing in our day-to-day, but are coming more and more. Being, for example, virtual reality, where you are able to experience everything before you even travel somewhere.
Yeah.
And in how could it look like into an upselling journey with a VR glass is that you can already experience the room, you can walk through the room, you can feel it, you can maybe walk through the F&B outlets before you even go there. And I think this is something where hotels need to think of on how to keep an eye on those technologies and not fall behind. With that, also voice technologies that is becoming more and more popular. Could be due to lack of staff, right? Where the hotel doesn't even have a reservation department anymore, but it's like voice bots that are taking the reservations. Those are great technologies to identify guest needs, to then offer a better experience again based on the needs of the guest. So this is something to definitely keep an eye on. And last but not least is the focus on sustainability, which is not a niche anymore, but becoming more and more mainstream. And this is where hotels need to adapt and to the broader values of a guest by offering upgrades to eco-friendly rooms. I recently had in Iceland at a hotel where you could opt out of the housekeeping, but I got a drink instead. So it makes you go to the bar and consume more than probably one drink. So those are things which just aligns with the value of more and more people by the sustainability.
Nice. Oh, that's awesome, Karl. And that's it for today. This is a short video. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us and sharing these valuable insights to our hoteliers that are watching us. So thank you so much, Karl, for being here today.
Thank you very much, Paula. It was amazing speaking with you.
Thank you. Thanks to everyone who watched the video. And if you want to learn more about Upsell Guru, you can find them on Cloudbed's marketplace. So thanks again, and I see you next time. Bye-bye.